Hello, I'm Crickets, and welcome back to I Have a Story. Today I'm going to talk about, again, when you actually live on the streets and you're with the people and in the communities, and you get to see a whole lot more than what really gets reported in the news. Because news reporters only talk to certain people, and certain people only tell the news what they want to tell them. They don't tell them everything. You actually learn everything by being in the streets, by being in the gutters with the people. Mr. Bubbles, you want to come up here? Mr. Bubbles wants to go outside. He's going to have to wait a minute. So, I want to talk about what Trump did to the cocaine industry. And there's, again, several lessons to learn in this story. I've been around drugs my whole life, and I've been around people from high society all the way to the gutters and everything in between. And I've spent time with the people and learned it. So, during Trump's first presidential term, he built the wall and shut down the border. That devastated the cocaine industry. Now, I'll be honest, I had a very short run with cocaine, been around it my whole life, and refused to touch it until I went into such a deep depression over my first marriage, my son in my first marriage, and the system who destroyed my life illegally. I mean, it is totally illegal. Charging illegal sums of child support, denying me my rights in court every time I went to court. Look, my son's being drugged, my son's being abused physically, mentally. I had it all documented, even doctor's records of the drugging. And they told me, you can't talk to your kid no more. You want to fight and come in here and bring stuff to court? You're a man. You have no rights. This is all in my court records. This is not a joke or a lie. It's bullshit is what it is. So I went through a severe depression because what are you supposed to do when you're a man? Men are made to follow the rules, but then when the rules don't apply to us, we're supposed to stand up and fight. Oh yeah, that's right. We're not supposed to only be proud of the people. That's why we celebrate the 4th of July. Only be proud of the people who actually had the balls to do it. Don't you do it yourself. This whole country is a joke. So I avoided cocaine my whole life, and then finally I went to one of my friends and said, look, I know you deal other things other than marijuana. What do you have? And he said, what are you talking about? And I went like this. Whatever you got, give it to me. I want to die, and I want whatever. I bury my depression. Again, I talk about how these things put people in these positions because I've been there myself. I never, ever, ever would have touched cocaine if it wasn't for the severe depression I was in. Having a brother who in Toledo, Ohio is one of the biggest coke and heroin dealers for over 30 years. I had access to it left and right. I had to block my brother out of my life to get away from it all and to keep all the troubles out of my life that he brought. So, before Trump's first term, cocaine, I'll use an 8-ball as an example. An 8-ball is an eighth of an ounce of cocaine. They call it a ball. Before Trump, I could get a ball anywhere between $60 to $120 an 8-ball, depending on how much it was stomped on, how much it was cut, how pure it was, and who I was getting it from. My brother, obviously, he'd just throw down lines left and right, and I'd just snort whatever I wanted. But I still want to take some home with me, too, because that's what drugs do to you. It's been, what, give or take 15 years since I've touched it. I learned it's not for me. I saw what it was doing to my life, what it was doing to me, the people I was getting involved with, everything. And I was fortunate to get out. And I only had a very short run with it and learned my lesson. Even in my depression today, I know where I can go right now and get any type of drug I want. I won't touch it, because that's not the right way to do it. I learned my lesson. I grew up and became a big boy, I think. So then what happened when Trump shut down the border? Drugs were a lot harder to get into our country. He was seizing so much of it that the prices tripled. Now, I quit doing it for many years and stayed away from people who did do it, and you can't help but when you live in the city to run into those people. Part of why I can't go back. I got to keep it out of my life, all of it. But the price of cocaine tripled after Trump shut down the border because so much was getting seized. It was getting so hard to get into our country. And an 8-ball, and it's still today, as far as I've been told, $300 for an 8-ball now. Back in the day, it used to be give or take on average about $100. That's tripled the price. So when Trump shut down those borders and started seizing the drugs, it was working. You can tell just by what happened in the streets. It became scarce and expensive. So then what happened when Biden opened up the border? Did they drop the prices? No. Just like everybody else. And again, it's part of why I'm against Apple. Apple doubled the price of their cell phone just to see if people could buy it, because they could afford it if they didn't. Then they just dropped the prices back down and let people buy it. But people bought it anyway. So then the rest of the market followed suit. Shoot, people are willing to pay $1,200 instead of $600 for a phone. We're going to charge it and make profit up the yin-yang off of it. I hate the cell phone industry. Hate it. With a passion, I hate the cell phone industry. And I don't say that about many things. So when Biden took over and drugs were just free flowing back into America again, now, even though they could have dropped their prices back down, and I don't even know what the right term is. You can't say make a modest living off of selling cocaine, but people are already paying $300 instead of $100. So why would you drop your prices? Now that's all profit that they made through the Biden administration, allowing them to just free flow it in here. Well, now look at the money they've got. Here's an article on the screen that just came out this morning that the Coast Guard intercepted a cocaine submarine. Submarine with thousands of pounds of cocaine on it. These people now became so rich, they can afford submarines. My God. So telling you from the streets, and somebody in the streets, and watched what took place. What Trump did, it worked. I'm not going to say it kept it all out. Obviously, it didn't keep all of it out, but it made a huge pain in the butt for the drug cartels to get it into our country and not lose millions of dollars doing it. Not getting busted, losing people. What Trump did was working. I don't know that there's ever, no matter what you put in place, people are going to find ways around it. But the more difficult you make it, and the more you can keep taking away from them, the better chance you have at winning that battle. So if people out there want to know whether the wall and shutting down our border, the way Trump has done it, works, I can sit here and tell you firsthand experience it truly does. Because the prices went through the roof. The quantity became scarce. Still got to finish winning the battle, though. But I'm telling you, from a person in the streets, a person who had big people around me, I can tell you, it really hurt them. So, if you want to know whether shutting down that border works or not, right here's proof from the streets that it really does.